Hi guys, and welcome to this week's video. This week I want to take you through what I've been doing in my art studio, and it's definitely a tale of two halves. On the one half I have been painting and making art, but on the other half I've been pulling out all of the stickers and mini prints that I have and photographing them and getting ready to do a shop update. This has actually taken me so much time this week. I really underestimate how long it takes me to do all the editing, to photograph everything, to do shop listings. Yeah, it's been a lot of work, but I'm planning on doing a shop update next week on Thursday the 20th, so watch out for that. But yeah, it's been really fun to pull out all these stickers that I've had in my stash for a little while. These are things I've got printed over the last couple of years and they've just kind of sat there. So my plan for 2025 is to really focus more on my online shop and really kind of gear that up and get that running again. I've definitely neglected that over the past few years. But yeah, I've got some nice holographic stickers, loads of vinyl stickers, loads of them that are really durable. You can put them on your water bottle, you can put them on your sketchbook. I'm also doing some like mystery packs as well because I love ordering things like this. So you get either a mystery print or a mystery sticker. I just think it's a really fun way to shop, especially if you're not really sure what you want to choose. And it's for those of you, if you're like me, who really like a surprise. So yeah, fun additions to the shop. Those are currently on there already, actually. That being said, let me show you what I've been doing. So this was the spread from last week, which I painted and really loved just sitting down meditatively, painting, colouring, and just kind of losing myself in the process. So I've decided to do a similar thing this week. I have started a brand new sketchbook. This is a pith sketchbook. I love these sketchbooks. And the main thing that I do is I use a pencil first of all, and I will kind of sketch out in kind of rough detail the composition and the motifs and where I want things to sit as well. So it's kind of really easy then to sort of play around with where you're going to place things. You can rub things out and move things. So yeah, that's been kind of the beginning of my process. And then I've been drawing things out with my black fine line pen, and then I've been playing around with how I do the base. So I really love the idea of putting down some sort of paint first, whether that's watercolour or gouache or Neocolor 2s. That's something I really love working with. But here I'm working with my watercolour pencils. So I've got my Supracolor watercolour pencils here, which are so beautiful, and I just love the base that it puts down. Sometimes I think pencil can give a little bit of a grainy sort of effect, so it's quite nice to have this painted base, and then I work in over the top with my coloured pencils, and it just adds so much more kind of depth and detail. I'm really realising that I'm becoming much more of a mixed media artist, which yeah, is really fun, and it's just so nice to play with different materials, to layer things together, to see how they work together, to see what your favourite thing is and how you want to work with it. And I think, yeah, it's kind of breaking the boundaries of needing to just be a watercolour artist or just be a gouache artist. I'm sorry if you can hear all the birds song in the background. That is our budgie. She's very chatty today. So as you can see here, I'm going in with my really fine brush that's just wet. So I've just wetted this, and then I'm kind of activating all the colour that I've put down. So everything I've laid down so far that you've seen me colouring in is all watercolour pencil. And this way I can kind of blend colours together, knowing that I'm going to turn them into paint and they'll be able to blend even more. This is a really fun way to work. And again, like I said, it's kind of nice to just put this base layer down. You can sort of play around with colours that way as well to decide what you want to go where. And then you can layer up a lot of pencil on top of this as well, so it gives it more depth. You can add in shadows, you can add in details. So already here you can see how much detail I've added into the flower there, and that's all been done with coloured pencil. But yeah, really loved working on this. Here I've pulled out some of my Holbein pencils because I was trying to find colour swatches to decide what colour to do the background, and some of these colours just really caught my attention. So I was kind of contemplating maybe to do another turquoise background like before, but I wanted to do something a bit different. So I decided to try and replicate the sort of peachy colour of the pencil that I just pulled out a second ago. So you'll see this in a minute, that I get out my gouache paint and we'll mix up a colour together. But here I'm kind of planning out the background now, so I'm still going with my midnight sky theme, which I love to do. If you guys know any of my drawings or my mandala orbs, I'm just obsessed with drawing midnight skies, and I have found that I've missed doing that this week because I've been painting instead. So yeah, it's something I always kind of lean back into, I think. So here I've got some gouache, so a few different colours. This is a Winsor & Newton. The first colour was a Holbein, and I think this is another Holbein. And then I've just got some white gouache as well to kind of tone it down a little bit. Mix these together. I was totally guessing on what colours I needed. I just kind of pulled from my stash what I intuitively thought would mix to make a nice colour. And yeah, I was quite surprised. It actually was pretty spot on straight away. So yeah, I was quite pleased with this. I just love the kind of warmth that this gives, and I thought it would work really well with the pinks from the flowers that I've already laid down, but also with like the greens of the vines. So that's the beauty of this as well. I figured I'll put down a little bit, almost like a little test patch, and if I don't like it, I can always work in over the top with another colour. So it's not the end of the world. Also, I think when I work in my sketchbook as well, I give myself that permission to do things wrong. So I try it out. I wasn't really sure if that was the colour I really wanted to go with, but it felt very different for me to use kind of this mustardy yellowy colour. But yeah, knowing that I could change it, or that actually at the end of the day it's just a sketchbook page. If it doesn't look how I want it to look, it doesn't matter. I could always do another spread. So again, it kind of takes the pressure off and just kind of gets me out of my head, so I can just enjoy the process and kind of push my boundaries a little bit, especially out of the colours I always use. I tend to always lean towards blues, greens, teals, turquoises. So using warm colours, especially reds actually as well, is something I've always leaned away from. So it's interesting to me that this latest piece has got reds in, and it's got this beautiful, really warm, rich background as well. So I'm kind of proud of myself just for changing things up a bit and doing something a little bit different that feels a bit out of my comfort zone. So I just kind of went around, took my time. You might be able to see in the corner there, I've got just a white sheet of paper underneath my hand. It means that when I'm painting, I don't have my hand on top of my artwork. So I quite often will do that just so that it's not smudging anything, or I'm not, potentially if I've got paint on my hand or like marks or anything on me, it won't smudge across my artwork. So yeah, just periodically made my way around the painting, just filling in all of the white gaps. What you probably can't see here on camera is I have drawn with my pencil almost like a cloud type scalloped edge all the way around, so you can see little bits of that here. So I did have a guide as to where the edges were. I could have painted right the way up to the edge of the page and filled the whole page, but I quite like this idea of it almost being within a bubble, because I think my artwork's got kind of a surreal, whimsical feel to it. I wouldn't say it's realistic. I think it's more illustrative, and I love that kind of surreal nature that I have. So yeah, just being in my own bubble kind of sums me up a bit. So yeah, almost finished then with painting this. And again, it's just so meditative, the sort of thing that I can put on a movie or listen to an audiobook, and just get lost in the process. And it's quite a slow going process as well. Sometimes I find when I do abstract art, I want to be expressive and almost splattering paint at the page and making big squiggly marks, whereas this is the opposite. It's very calm, very quiet, very precise as well, especially getting in around these stars. So it's a very precise way of working, and that was actually quite relaxing as well. So you will see here that I've pretty much finished this piece. I'm still contemplating whether to do a light blue or teal outline to this, but that's something I'll figure out in the future, I think. But as for now, I'm really pleased with how this piece turned out, and I'm really looking forward to colouring in this butterfly piece on the next page, which hopefully I will get done next week. So having spent all week on my computer, I do feel like I've been missing some art, so I'm hoping to dive into more this coming week. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, you guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Sending you lots of love, and I will see you next week for a shop update video. Lots of love. Bye.